Welcome back. It's hour number 3 as we await Kalen DeBoer to come to the dais momentarily, and we will hear from the head football coach of the University of Alabama. Talked a lot about in the first 2 hours his team's big win against the Georgia Bulldogs 24-21. In one poll this week, Alabama is number 10, and the other, they are number 11. Also spent a good bit of time taking your texts and calls about another disappointing start in the Auburn Tigers in SEC play. As Hugh Freeze and the Tigers, they lose in College Station 16-10. An anemic offense, only 177 yards, and now Hugh Freeze is telling everybody, hey, we gotta stick together. The good bounces are about to come our way. But all things are on the table, Landrum, to get fixed. We're going to look at everything.
Yeah, I think that's fallen on a lot of deaf ears across Auburn country. I've had people texting me all weekend, and some of these, the most steadfast, true Auburn fans that are always the last to say, no, there's no hope. And it seems like he burned a whole lot of, whether you want to call it cred or equity with the fan base, the ones who were still saying, all right, let's give him another chance, because they see it. They see that you have the personnel to do it. They see these games, and I think losing 16-10 and 24-17 only makes it that much worse and reinforces. You know what? Maybe it's not the Jimmies and Joes.
Also, let's go now to Kalen DeBoer, who is at the podium in Tuscaloosa.
And just a couple things about Georgia, just a good win for our team. I feel that's really what it was. It was a team win, both sides of the ball, and special teams as well, all being involved in how we got it done. And wasn't perfect by any means, and sometimes, a lot of times in those type of games, it's going to be ugly at times. And so it's just a matter of continue to play hard, be resilient. That our coaching staff did a really nice job of putting a plan together, and our guys really buying into that, and bye week, and just staying the course and staying focused, and the build up to the game not being so much on the front end, but really emotionally and mentally getting prepared for the right time, late kickoff on a Saturday night, and just a great environment there. And I think our guys rose to the occasion. I appreciate, how they handled all the adversity that came their way. So they left it on the field. That's what I ask of them. Ask them to empty the tank, and they certainly did that. So they played for each other. I think that's been one of the themes that they've really focused on, and everyone's counting on them to do their job, and if they don't do their job, they're letting their teammates down. And I've actually asked them, to really understand that piece, as far as that I'm counting on them, and understand they're counting on me too. And so a lot of young guys continue to get more and more experience, both sides of the ball, playing a number of true freshmen, and their experience is, I think, from week 1 to now through 4 games, really showing up, and we're going to continue to need those guys, and some redshirt freshmen as well that playing a lot of, really important towards our success. So appreciate the fans that went over there to Athens and supported us, and obviously coming back home to Bryant-Denny, place that it's just a great vibe, and we're going to need everything they got against a very good Vanderbilt team here coming up on Saturday. So Coach Lee, a ton of respect for him. I've known him for a long time. I knew a year ago you could see and feel the positive movement that they had inside the program. You could see the style of play, it being team football, and they continue to do that. So 5-0, ranked opponent coming into our house. So just got to continue to keep the focus on us. Keep ignoring the noise. That's been a huge, I think, strength that's become of our football team, and they got to continue to do that. Some guys, continue to learn, what it takes to come each and every week to play football here in the SEC.
Thanks, Coach. Let's start with Chase on the far left.
Yeah, there's a perception that the win over Georgia last year created some overconfidence, and it resulted in the team not taking Vanderbilt seriously enough just 7 days later Is that fair? And if not, how do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue against that. You got to handle success, and you got to come back every single week in this league. And I've talked to, every coach I talk to at midfield, that's what the conversation's about. Is here you go again, and you got to reload mentally, physically, emotionally to during the week, get prepared at the highest level you possibly can, and go play ball. Physically, it's going to be a battle, and mentally, you got to be ready to respond. And so, we didn't handle success, however you want to put it, last year well. You can't argue that. I also think that they did a nice job executing in critical times and made plays. And so, no different this week, right? We and our success that we had on Saturday, none of it matters. None of it carries over. The third down stops, the third down execution on offense, it doesn't matter. Points don't carry over. Every game's its own game. There's new matchups that are going to be presented in this game that were different than last week. And so, just like I talk about every play being its own play, this game is its own game.
To the right side, Charlie.
Yeah, Coach, after the game on Saturday, you talked about how you got to continue to get better in the run game. Just what does that look like? How do you accomplish that?
Yeah, I think, I feel like it is taking steps, and I think it's on both sides of the ball, just better execution. Guys understanding the job, but just keep executing. And I think there were some times where we were closer, but you didn't see it necessarily lead to these eye-popping numbers or these explosive plays. But I think there were times when, especially at the end of the game, third quarter were 4 and 5 yard runs, at the end of the game, the last drive on first down, getting 7 yards when you know that's what's going to happen. It's going to be a run play, and then getting a first down and then doing it again and getting 5 on the next set of downs. Those are important and hard yards, and so. The execution just from the beginning, we want to continue to keep better. It starts with a mindset that's what it's going to take every single week. And so just to practice. Reps is what it's all about.
Let's go to Katie on the left.
Sorry, I just got distracted because I was writing something down. What do you think you haven't turned it over through the first 4 games, just what do you think has led to the success in ball security, just overall on offense?
Being intentional. Repetitions in ball security circuit that we do every single day. Showing our players. We showed clips during the bye week of other teams losing games and moments where, just a little bit of the elbow not being tight enough to the rib cage, or, even a player having it high and tight, but it just not being tight enough, locking the wrist, and, technically doing the things just on such a high level all the time, and being real truthful and showing times in practice or showing times in games, where there's a time or two where those fundamental things aren't done perfect. So it's being intentional. It's being intentional on running to the ball defensively to cause those turnovers too. And so it's effort. It's fundamental, and I think our guys are really understanding that you win and lose games because of those things. And it's one of those things that was one of our 3 keys to victory was winning the turnover margin. We did that.
Let's go to Nick on the front right.
Yeah, you also won the penalty battle, if you will, and that you had fewer penalties. What can be carried over from that performance in minimizing penalties moving forward?
Yeah, and to do it on the road in that environment, just proud of the guys, the way they continue to just stay the course, and I know they got it in them. I know that the want to is there, and so not living in the gray area. That's been a common theme for us going back to February when we really broke all the ways that things you needed to do to win, and when we worked on the category of penalties, focusing on where we fell short a year ago, focused on other teams and NFL teams, college teams, just making sure we covered all the scenarios. And it's, you're never going to cover all of them. New ones pop up all the time. And so just doing your best to really make sure the guys understand that you can't relax for one moment. You get on the boundary, you get on the sideline. You got to be smart. You got to figure out can I hit him or not? On the quarterback. Just locked in on the cadence, and when there's noise, like we had on Saturday, guys did a nice job just focusing on what we repped and locked in on doing their job.
Go to Emily Grace, front left.
Hey, Coach, can we get an update on Quay and Jamarian?
Yeah, Quay. So Quay, he has a broken foot and surgery and everything, and so he won't be out for the season, but he'll be an extended amount of time here. And then Jamarian, just with everything, he'll be out for the season, and so that's unfortunate. Just love both of those guys, but Zebo, as we refer to him, Jamarian's just. He's going to have a healthy recovery. He'll recover fully, and so that's the main thing in the big picture of everything. But unfortunately, we won't have him back this season.
Colin on the front left.
Hey, Kalen. It seems like Ryan Williams, over the course of the last few games, whether it's with drop passes or got a little flack about blocking ability against Georgia, has gotten some criticism. I'm curious about what you've seen from him, how he's handled that criticism, while also what your message to him has been over the course of the last few games to kind of overcome.
Yeah. I mean, he knows he's just got to keep progressing, keep developing, keep working. And so what I know I see on the football field in practice every single day is a guy that is working hard at it. And so we know how skilled he is, how big of a threat he is anytime he's on the field. I thought he responded well. Had some nice catches and third down conversions. Had a ball late in the half there that was an explosive that helped us cross midfield and put points on the board. So I thought his response was really good, and he stayed focused. And I think really what he's locked in on is the team. And again, he's not going to be perfect, just like any other guy. And we expect a lot out of him. And we've built that up for him, and he certainly wants that, But he's just got to keep taking the steps, keep getting better, and he will. He just keep working through it. But his desire to go out there and be a team player, block. I mean, it's the want to factors there. So just got to keep working on the fundamental things, and he'll do it.
Joe, third row on the left.
Coach, how do you think that Tim Keenan played in his return? And secondly, Vanderbilt has a lot of graduates, a lot of redshirt seniors, juniors on their offensive line. Florida State did as well. What do you think you can take from the Florida State experience with the young defensive lineman? You're going to be missing James for the first half of the game into this weekend's game.
Yeah, that's something we'll talk more and more about with the team as we go through the week, starting tomorrow with James. Because we do have to cover for him early. And when he comes in, he needs to be locked in on what's been happening, so it isn't him feeling out the process when he gets into the game. But Tim, just as the week went on, I think early in the week he was a little sore and things like that. But when he got to game day, just really, I thought he played well. He was an important part of our success, and just a big hammer up in there, just holding down gaps and keeping the movement to be very minimal. So he played. In our grading, he played a nice game all around. And so I don't know if I had a true number of snaps I was expecting to play, but I know he didn't play less than what I thought. If anything, he played more. And so we certainly do need to rise to the occasion, as your second question. Just we got to rise to the occasion and keep asking more out of our young guys against a veteran group, like you said. And I think we're doing that. I think guys are straining in practice. I've been on the young guys as much as anything, not just at that position, but across the board, for them to understand, the urgency that they got to have just in meetings and on the field, the strain that it takes. And then now they're seeing, I think you get into game day in these big games, the SEC games, and, they're getting it. They're figuring it out.
Let's go to Jamie on the front row.
Hey, Coach, the scene is set just like last year after Georgia. You've got Vandy. How do you guard against an emotional letdown after this season after such a huge win in Athens? And also, are you going to be wearing a black hoodie on Saturday?
I think that part's, I think we all know that you don't win because of that and you don't lose because of that. But I get it. I think, for us, you got to learn from what you've been through, right? And so the handling of success last year and then what had happened for the different reasons it happened, and then where we're at now and the opportunity that we have in front of us and what we've gone through. You take your past experiences and you have to just keep learning, and you got to keep understanding how we got our feet somewhat underneath of us, okay, and have a little bit of momentum, okay, and it's just really, again, being intentional. I've referred to that in different ways here, moving with purpose, that's a common theme right now, and just the energy and the edge that our guys have played with the last 3 games. We cannot lose sight of how important that's been. And we know every team that comes into our place, every team we play, is getting amped up and excited to play Alabama. And we've got to take on that challenge, not just on Saturdays, but, Sunday through Friday, and be ready to go.
Back right, Jonathan.
Hey, Coach, the response to the adversity your team faced on Saturday just appeared to be night and day compared to some of the recent road games. What do you think the biggest difference was?
Having gone through it and just continuing to not make it bigger than it is, keep it simple, but having gone through it and talking through it and just staying positive. I guess on the sideline, the best way I can explain it is I didn't ever feel when one side of the ball or the other was struggling, or couldn't finish a drive offensively, or had a letdown defensively, and you're frustrated because of an explosive run or something. I felt like it was all about the next play. I felt like it was all about, man, I want to get back on the football field, and I know we can do this, and I'm going to just keep locked in on my job. And then each side of the ball, trusting the other one, is going to just give it everything they have and leave it on the football field. And, walking out of there, I don't think we were going to have any regrets on anything, because they were going to leave it out there. And so that's all I can ask of them, is just to give 100% effort. And, when 99 out of 100 isn't good enough. It's got to be 100 out of 100, because that's something you can control. And so, we've been pointing those things out whenever we fall just a little bit short. It's not okay that you gave 100% on all these plays in practice, and this one play, woulda, coulda, shoulda, that's the one that's going to hurt you. It's the one that's going to kill you. So just proud of the way the guys have responded, and I think the game certainly showed that. It felt that on the sideline. We had less guys travel. We have less staff on the sideline. And so it was about those 74 players. It's about the coaching staff. And it was, these guys have kind of adopted an us against the world mentality.
We got 2 more questions left. We'll go to Alex first, and we'll finish with Matt.
Speaking of responses, what did you see from Connor after that missed field goal, and how would you just sort of assess the special teams plays through 4 games?
Yeah, I think that kick in particular, I think we got to have better execution all the way from the snap to the hold to the kick. All 3 of them could do a little bit better and cover for each other. The kicker obviously can recover and help make it better, and it wasn't that much error on the other guys to where he couldn't make up for it. But they all 3 with that execution, I think, can do a better job. He's been solid, I think, again, as a special teams whole. I think the real slip up was against Wisconsin with a couple things with the kickoff. And again, we put ourselves in that spot to where we had to kick from our own 20 and cover a lot more space. I was really pleased with the way we controlled their return game, with Branch being a threat, both in the punt return and the kickoff returns. And so we had a squib opportunity. We pinned them deep at the end of the first half, didn't let up in any way to give them any life there to feel like they could go down and even get 3 points on the board. Kicking off, after we, held them deep on the first one that they tried to return. Really, they just were all about, taking the ball to 25, fair catching it. And so, I think we're doing a solid job. There are so many young guys on our special teams units, and I'm not afraid to put it out there because I think they're executing at a high level. I mean, Latsier Brooks, you watch him run down there on kickoff. You see him on offense, but you see him doing his things there. And Dijon Lee and all those guys, I mean, they're seeing their opportunities, to go out there and play at a high level and put some good film out there for people to see.
Matt wanted to clarify one thing.
Yeah, on Jamarian, is there a chance he goes and tries to get a medical red shirt, or is he just completely done playing?
Yeah, we haven't gone on that road yet. Really haven't seen him in person, just communicating. I know he's back here around the facility here now, too, here finally at the beginning of the week. So, but yeah, we haven't gone down that road yet, so don't have an answer for you there.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet. Thank you.
Kalen DeBoer, his press conference in Tuscaloosa. Interesting comments, what he had to say about last Saturday's game, the game coming up, and then the health status of some of the players. We'll get into that. More of your texts, more of your phone calls. It's a Reaction Monday. We're here for it. 3-man front right here on Jocks.
Well, we just heard from Kalen DeBoer. Hugh Freeze is not meeting with the media this week. It's a bye week. He will talk at the SEC teleconference coming up on Wednesday morning, but there is no scheduled meetings with the media this week for Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a good thing for Hugh Freeze because, quite frankly, I don't think Auburn fans want to hear it. I think that they've heard enough. They're now in show me mode. What are you going to do to fix it? And unfortunately for Hugh Freeze, I don't don't sense. I'm certainly not getting from Auburn people I talk to. There's a whole lot of faith that he's going to be able to turn this thing around on the offensive side of the ball. And then the questions are, how did we get here? And then if you're John Cohen, where do we go? I'm not calling for his job today. I've seen this before. You've seen it before. Covering teams, just watching enough college football, it felt like a shift that happened during that game on Saturday where a lot of hope was lost. And unfortunately, I think for Auburn, there could be some more of those games like that. Hopefully that's not the case, but it certainly feels that way right now to me.
I agree. 1-800-239-WJOX, the courtesy GMC text line, 205-834-9450. You just heard Kalen DeBoer. A little bit of bad news on the injury front for Alabama. DeBoer confirmed that Quay Russaw suffered a broken foot. He will miss extended time, but DeBoer noted that it's not a season-ending injury. I was told yesterday that with Russaw, that it's a situation that if Alabama gets to the postseason, that he could be available. So it's not a season-ending injury, so to speak, but maybe a regular season situation that Russaw would be out. Fellow outside linebacker Jamarian Latham, he unfortunately will not be back this season. He underwent surgery over the weekend to address a neck injury he suffered in practice last week. He did not travel for last weekend's game at Georgia, so he is done, unfortunately, for this season for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, and I know that you have other guys, but with Quay and some of the others, now at this point, this is where the transfer portal, if you had free agency and you were allowed
get somebody,
maybe a couple of guys,
sign them to the practice squad
that you could claim per season, this would be an ideal time to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if that ends up biting Alabama down the stretch. Maybe it does, but you got to feel pretty good about where you are and hopefully some of the other guys that have been able to develop and get some of that quality depth and experience that you've been hoping for.
So we were talking about some other games around the SEC over the weekend. We mentioned Ole Miss, their big win against LSU. Tennessee had to go to overtime to beat Mississippi State 41-34. Aguilar threw for 335, a touchdown, but he did have 2 interceptions in that game. And unfortunately, one of the most likable people you're ever going to meet in this business, Sam Pittman, he was shown the door yesterday after Notre Dame's 56-13 shellacking of the Hogs. The Hogs gave up 42 points, 420 yards of offense to Notre Dame in the first half. 641 yards for the game. The 42 points in the first half were the most by a non-SEC visiting team in the last 20 seasons against Arkansas. It was Notre Dame's second largest win ever against a Southeastern Conference team. And guess what the last team it was that they had the biggest win against? Tulane. Back in 1947. So, again, current day SEC schools, it was just bad stuff. So Pittman, he exits with a $10 million buyout, 32-34 overall. He was 14-29 in the SEC, 6 seasons there. This might be the last time we hear. This is what Sam Pittman said after the game as they lost 56-13.
I get it. If I was a fan, I'd be mad at me too. You know, I'd be frustrated as hell with me. But here's what I'll say. As long as I'm the head coach at Arkansas, I'm going to fight my butt off to get the guys out there. And how long that is, that's not – it is partly up to me because of what we put on the field. But that's not my call. And if I'm worried about that all the time, I won't be able to do as good a job as I possibly can. But I will say this, if I was the fans, I'd be mad at me too. Hell, I'm mad at me, to be perfectly honest.
I love that guy. I do.
Good dude.
I love everything that Sam Pittman stands for. Professionally, personally, just a solid guy. And now the question is, all right, so if Arkansas is ready to get serious, not that they haven't been serious before, but they're about to get financially serious and go and try to attract a head coach. If you're talking break the bank serious, then you could probably attract a bigger name than you've been able to do in the past.
Yeah, of course, there's going to be a couple of names that are automatically
Rhett Lashley.
Rhett Lashley, because obviously he's an Arkansas guy, Arkansas kid, played quarterback at high school, therefore Gus Malzahn. So he's obviously, and according to Las Vegas, he's number one on the list. He's 3-1 odds. Ryan Silverfield from Memphis is next, followed by John Sumrall, G.J. Kinney at Texas State. He's at 7-1. Gus Malzahn and Mike Gundy are next on the Vegas list at 8-1. I don't see Gundy getting in the mix there. Bobby Petrino keeping the job is 9-1. Eric Morris from North Texas, Jeff Traylor from UTSA.
There it is.
And John Gruden, 14-1.
Yeah.
Alex Golish and Dan Mullen at 16-1. Jeff Monken at 18-1. And you have Deion Sanders, Lance Leipold at 20-1. Barry Odom 22-1.
If John Summerall, would you, if you were offered that job, would you take it, or would you wait to see if maybe an Auburn came open?
What do you say?
I just think it's tough, right? Because I think, right, for us, we all agree John Summerall's a fantastic coach, and whoever hires him next is going to get a home run hire, or so we believe with John Summerall. And I understand maybe wanting to hang on for an Auburn, or maybe you think you would be in consideration for a Florida job if that came open. But do you let an Arkansas job pass you by waiting for one of those that may or may not come to fruition? And who's to say that Auburn, maybe they wouldn't want to go that route if they move on from Hugh Freeze. So
well, if you're John Summerall,
tricky, though,
Conrad, don't you know that Kentucky at some point is going to come open? You could have that job if you wanted it.
Yeah. Would you? Well, okay.
Is Arkansas a better job? Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
By how much, though?
Would you rather have the Arkansas job or the Kentucky job? I'd rather have the Arkansas job.
No, it would be Arkansas.
Granted, the Kentucky job, the job security would be fantastic.
If Rhett Lashley's hired, though, at Arkansas, what's he going to say about the SEC? Does he realize that he is going to have to talk nice about the conference that he's in?
He can't do it now. He couldn't bring himself to do it.
Yeah.
It'd be too hard for him.
And just think.
That conference we play in.
Lane Kiffin.
That league down south.
Had his option of Arkansas or Ole Miss. Chose wisely.
He did.
Chose Ole Miss over Arkansas.
Yes, he did.
More 3-man front on this reaction money. This is Jocks.
12:35, three-man front reaction Monday. Coaches' hot seat rankings changing by the week. Some coaches trending. One coach that's not, Sam Pittman, fired after the lopsided loss to Notre Dame in Fayetteville on Saturday. So where does Arkansas turn? We heard from Coach Kalen DeBoer, Alabama's weekly press conference, getting ready for the Commodores of Vanderbilt. Alabama, a 10.5-point favorite at home, and the total in that one at 57.5. Well, we've got professional football coming up tonight, and I tell you about it every single day here on the show. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. You can join millions of users simply by signing up today. You download the Prize Picks app, use code WJOX to get the $50 in lineups after you play that first $5 lineup. That's code WJOX. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks is simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. We're going professional football, as I mentioned. Tonight, you got a couple of games, but we're going to go right back to the Honey Hole, Conrad's favorite place. Tua, how do you say that again? That's the one. 235.5 passing yards, more or less, versus the Jets.
Oh, no. I mean, I think right now you got to go less.
You're going to go less?
I'm going to go less.
All right. You know Tua better than anybody. We'll go less on that one. And on the other projection, we will go Bo Nix, quarterback for the Broncos, 1.5 passing touchdowns, more or less, versus the Bengals.
I'll go less on that one as well.
All right. We're going to ride with you. Both of them going less. If both of those projections hit, we win our projections. You can be a winner too. Download the Prize Picks app. Don't forget Prize Picks, your place, all fantasy season long. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
So we heard Hugh Freeze after the game in College Station basically saying it's time to reevaluate everything on offense. Talked about not running the ball well enough. Well, Mike Elko, the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, he was a little irritated at reporters after the game. Take a listen.
Does anybody want to ask a question about, like, us being 4-0 for the first time since 2016, or how did the defense bounce back, or how about you held them to 176 yards on offense and you had 5 sacks and they were 0 for 12 on third down and 0 for 2 on fourth down and you got the return game going again? Like, I don't mean to sound like someone else, but my gosh, will you guys stop being so dreadful and gloomy?
Doing his best Brian Kelly?
He's taking a shot at Brian Kelly.
Oh, wow.
Now we just need the picture of him slamming his fist down, and it'll be full circle.
That was, man, I guess he was trying to show a little positivity about
his defense, they played well, but I think Texas A&M fans are smart enough to know that you're probably not going to get that replicated every week.
Well, and it's like these kinds of wins are great, right? But you're going to have tougher battles ahead. And if you play like that against other teams in the conference, it's probably not going to go your way. And I think people realize that. And you want to celebrate the victory. I totally get that. But if you're Texas A&M, you got to find a way to be in the conversation at the end of the year, because for whatever reason, you can't do that. You were in the same position last year, right? We all remember, looked like they were going to have a path to Atlanta, and you came up short at the end of the year. So that fan base they're looking for more.
So 30 years ago, Florida State running back Warwick Dunn was ruled just short of the goal line on a decisive play in an upset loss to Virginia. What do they say about history?
Has a tendency of repeating itself.
Yep.
You better learn from it. Yeah.
Yep. This is the way it sounded on the Virginia Radio Network Friday night.
The 8th-ranked team in the country needs 12 yards to avoid the upset. Cavaliers with 3 down linemen. Castellanos in the shotgun. Virginia brings the blitz. Castellanos in trouble. Hit as he throws. Hangs it up towards the end zone. And it's intercepted! Virginia has done it! All heaven has broken loose! The kids of the Commonwealth swallow the field! 46-38. Virginia has taken down Florida State.
That's the way it sounded on Friday night. A double overtime win, 46-38. The kids of the Commonwealth that swallowed the field, 19 people injured and had to go to the hospital due to the field storming there at the stadium.
I laughed not knowing what you were about to say. I did want to say that.
Virginia was fined $50,000 by the ACC.
I mean, I was worried for Squirrel White.
19 people went to the hospital because of the storming.
Yeah, how's Squirrel?
Yeah, Squirrel White's okay. I saw people, they reported that he was fine after. But that was my first thought of when you had all the fans on the field is you got a Florida State player right there laying in the end zone that probably got stepped on a handful of times. And there's no room for that. I get it. It looked really cool on television, like the immediate swarming of the field. But you can't be putting people's
I've been consistent with this
can't do it.
forever. You can't do this. And the ACC, I mean, seriously, they were about to the 200 students that was at the game for Wake Forest and Georgia Tech was about to storm the field. Now, again, that's not that was going to cause a ruckus. The 200, seriously, like 200 people coming on the field, but it's a joke. $50,000 in the ACC, everyone's doing it in the ACC.
It was also embarrassing that Illinois stormed the field after they beat USC. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Florida State is now 1-8 in their last 9 ACC games. 1-8 in their last 9 conference games. But here's the good
Play more
news.
teams from the SEC, Conrad.
I know. I really wanted them to win on Friday.
So the Seminoles defense gave up 440 yards to Virginia. That was 100 more yards than they did Alabama. So Virginia had 100 more
Different team,
yards
Pat.
of offense than Alabama did.
Different team, Pat.
Yeah, of course. That's what we all say now. So Florida State had everything cooking for it this week.
Oh, and imagine this. Florida State gets 21 second quarter points. And they can't keep up.
And now Bama Hater and his Hurricanes taking on Florida State and Tallahassee.
I really don't know who I'd rather win that one. Kind of a lose-lose
Yeah.
situation in my position.
Going back to the coaching thing, Smokey asked a great question. If Arkansas does hire Rhett Lashley, does he bring Gus as his OC? 100%.
Yes.
That'd be something.
Don't throw me in the briar patch. Oh, no. Oh, I hate it there. Oh, you talking about just Gus Bliss?
Oh, did you
protege?
Hey, since we're talking about the ACC, did you see where they had some officials get in trouble? Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they've been arrested.
So in the Georgia Tech Wake Forest game, ACC said Saturday night that officials missed a pivotal offside call that allowed number 16 Georgia Tech to eventually overcome Wake Forest in overtime, with the Yellow Jackets holding on to no timeouts and the Demon Deacons with the lead and working on the clock late in regulation. Wake Forest quarterback Robbie Ashford threw a free play deep ball on 3rd and 5 after Georgia Tech leaped off sides. But the officials did not throw the flag.
Oh, that's
I remember
guys,
that
we
play.
got a problem. You know the Florida State score from last night, right? Yeah. Yeah. Clemson's in the tank. Miami, other than Miami, this is really our only hope.
So if they would have called the penalty, Wake Forest would have got an automatic first down, putting Wake Forest in a position to run the clock out. And there's no overtime. They beat Georgia Tech. So the ACC comes out Saturday night.
Georgia Tech's going to the college football playoff, guys.
Yeah, apparently so.
I tried to tell you before the season.
Well, they're going to play Oklahoma for the national championship, apparently.
So the officiating
hope not.
is just everywhere.
Me neither.
Really hope not. Let's not get that one.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
Coach Key, I'd have to pull for Georgia Tech in that one, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Someone called the Damian Mitchell show this morning and said that Brent Key should be who Auburn goes after when they fire Hugh Freeze.
That's right.
Maybe so. think after Saturday, there's a lot of names you could put on a list.
So I think there's a lot of people that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of those.
But there's somebody called. Didn't someone either text or call in and said Lincoln Riley for the Auburn job?
It was the same person.
Oh,
Lincoln Riley. Yeah.
We will see him tomorrow at Social Taco.
Lincoln Riley? That'd be cool.
No, Don Don.
Oh. Don asked for Lincoln Riley? Really?
He wanted Brett Key or Lincoln Riley.
If I was an Auburn fan, I would take Sam Pittman 100 times over Lincoln Riley.
I just can't picture Lincoln Riley in the SEC. I can't picture that going real well. But he had his opportunity because he could have gone to LSU, and he said no.
I don't think I see Lincoln Riley as a big-time head football coach for much longer.
No, he might be going the Gus Malzahn route of get me out of here. Let me go just call some offensive plays, and because he's great at that.
They were more relevant. They were more relevant under Clay Helton.
Yeah, I mean, he had that one good year, the first year with Caleb, and that was it. It's been rough since then. Who would have thought that Oklahoma fans, remember how mad they were about that? I think right now took you a couple years, but you feel just fine with that decision.
I'm supposed to be on Feinbaum this afternoon. I wonder if we'll talk about government or we will talk about Hugh Freeze. Which do you think we'll talk about?
I think you talk about both.
I was about to say, you'll tie them in together somehow.
Kind of have a civics lesson on like how long a term is for a senator as opposed to a House of Representative, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 and 6. Is that right? 2 for House of Representatives, 6 for a senator. Just got to brush up on my civics before I go on the Feinbaum show. Figure out what's going on. All right. This is Reaction Money. Bill Clark joins us at the top of the hour. This is Three Man Front on Jocks. It is 12:51. We will talk to Coach Bill Clark coming up at the top of the hour, get his thoughts on the weekend that was, including Alabama's impressive victory over the Georgia Bulldogs and Auburn's disappointing loss to the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies. We do this each and every week. Molly sees some things over the weekend that she considers hot. Get your mind out of the gutter, Conrad. And the other is cold, brought to you each and every week by Train.
I'm so excited. Okay, for my hot, I know we talked about it earlier. I mean, but number one's got to be Caden Proctor. I could not stop watching. And that poor safety, just trying to come up and tackle him. He went for the ankles, so I give him credit. But I would be absolutely terrified if I was a Georgia defender and just saw 360 pounds of greatness headed for me. But this also kind of a two-parter because with the college football Saturday, if you watched College Game Day, then you saw the game day crew wore the all-white in honor of the Penn State whiteout, and I liked it. I liked how they were going for kind of the Backstreet Boys type of look, the boy band. I was waiting for them to break out in
Wait, is this
routine.
your hot or cold?
This is my hot.
Oh,
It was Caden
so you
Proctor.
liked it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so you got two hots.
And I got
okay.
two colds too.
Oh, okay.
Double whammy
If
today.
they were wearing khakis, they could take a family picture on the beach, send it out as a Christmas
They
card.
could. Like I said, I was waiting for them to break out in song and dance, maybe this week in Tuscaloosa. As for my cold, overall, it would have to be the Sunday night football game from last night because, first of all, it was the Cowboys and the Packers. Awful as a Lions fan. And it ended in a tie. Ties are the worst. Why do we still have ties in the NFL? And also, this is like the one silver lining to it, though. It was a scoregami.
Was it really?
It sure was. 40-40 is a scoregami.
So never been a 40-40 tie in football?
There had not. So that's like the one sort of good thing. And then for my other cold, this is more like a lukewarm, honestly. The Tigers did clinch, but we still have to play the Guardians, so that just sucks. But hey, we're in the postseason. It's a shame that I feel the way I do, especially when you have a 15-game lead in the division. But you know what? We're there, and we can say that we officially made the postseason. So that's my hot and cold. Again, you kind of had two hots, two colds, and then a kind of lukewarm. And then a silver lining in there as well. Well, it's that season where you may be running the AC during the day, but the heat at night. And that stress on your home comfort system is why you need a Train. They've been named America's most trusted brand for 11 consecutive years. So you know you can count on the reliability of a Train to keep your home and your family comfortable for years to come. So go and find out more at train.com.
All right, so the wild card schedule, Molly was just talking about baseball. It gets underway tomorrow and Wednesday. You got the Tigers at Guardians. That's a noon first pitch. Padres at Cubs. Red Sox at Yankees. That's 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Reds at Dodgers. Pretty interesting. We all know that the Mets did not make the playoffs. They were shut out yesterday 4-0 by the Miami Marlins, and so they will not go to the playoffs. The Mets, Astros, Braves, and Rangers, those four teams did not make the playoffs. All four of those teams are in the top 10 in payroll. So they did not get their money's worth. They did not make the playoffs. 4 of the top 10 payroll in Major League Baseball. Braves finished 76-86. Good for 4th place in the National League East. But here's one thing. If you like parity, only 6 teams won 90-plus games in Major League Baseball. You did not have that team really go all in and be the dominant team that we thought the Dodgers was going to be before the season.
NIL, portal.
Yep.
Brings you parity.
And Pete Alonso has already elected for free agency. He will not come back to the Mets next year.